Hey active travelers, welcome to my guide to Vieques. This island is located on the southeast end of Puerto Rico and belongs to Puerto Rico, USA. The island has a relaxed and welcoming feel with a mix of outstanding beaches, good variety of dining options, and beautiful scenic views of the hills and coastline. It is larger than the neighboring Culebra island, offering all the amenities you'd want on your vacation, and yet feels small and intimate without being overrun by masses of tourists. The island also has interesting history, from first being inhabited some 3,000 to 4,000 years ago, all the way to the Second World War when the US Navy purchased large parts of it for bomb-dropping target practice. The Navy bombing practice went on for 60 years until 2003 due to pressure from continuous protests. The Navy withdrew from the island. Large parts of the island were heavily contaminated, and despite much cleanup, some remote parts of the island appear closed off to this day. There are two ways to get to the island, either by plane from San Juan or by ferry from the Ceiba ferry terminal on mainland Puerto Rico. We opted to take the inexpensive Puerto Rico ferry. If you have never taken the Puerto Rico ferry, please watch my detailed video on this topic, which I will link at the end of this video. It will give you some helpful information to make your travel planning easier. If you want to explore the island and really enjoy all it has to offer, you need a rental car. And since you can't easily bring your rental from Puerto Rico, you need to rent one on Vieques. We rented from Maritza's car rental, and they were fantastic to deal with. The roads on the island are generally in good condition, though some are quite narrow, and some more distant beaches have well-kept but unpaved roads. The worst of the roads were in town on the steeper hills, where a downhill road joins a horizontal road at such an angle that you may scrape the front of your car as you make the turn. If you have an SUV or Jeep, you shouldn't experience any issues. And overall, the driving in Vieques is very easy and there's minimal traffic with no traffic lights. Looking at the map of Vieques, much of the action is around the main city of Vieques, where you can find restaurants, cafes, ice cream shops, and stores. Most of you will want to lodge here. There's also the town of Esperanza on the south side that you definitely need to visit. It is close to some of the nice beaches and has a number of lively beachside restaurants. Other notable landmarks that I will showcase in this video include the Mosquito Pier, the oldest tree in Vieques, sugar mill ruins, Bioluminescent Bay, and the many beaches that are scattered all around the island. There are around 30 beaches in Vieques, so I will only highlight a few of the best and most unique ones. The nicest overall beach on the island is Caracas Beach. It was truly our favorite. The beach is wide, easily accessible by car with lots of parking, has soft white sand, and very gently sloping entry into the water. There are only small waves, and it feels like a giant natural swimming pool. It can provide for hours of fun for kids and adults alike. Here, my son, the instigator, learns his lesson when picking on someone bigger than him and ends up losing both of his swimming noodles. At the east end of the beach, all the way out of the cove, is also a great spot for doing some snorkeling. We managed to see some nice coral as well as a variety of marine life. And given that there are large numbers of wild horses on the island, you may even end up with an unexpected lunch guest by your table. Another good beach that is conveniently located right next to the town of Esperanza is Playa del El Cayo. There seems to be hardly anyone on the beach, so you can enjoy the tranquil waters and scenic views of the area without having to see a bunch of beachgoers. And when you get hungry, the restaurants are just a short walk from there. Check out these beautiful panoramic views of the beach as well as the area close to Esperanza. There's also some nice snorkeling around the broken pier here. Oh, and I have to take a moment to show you one of the most bizarre and awesome things I've seen. Somebody in Esperanza made a boat out of a picnic table and even strapped an engine onto it. Whoever you are, you rock. And we also enjoyed some of the more remote beaches, like Playa La Chiva. There are several beaches like this on the island, and they will offer you natural beauty and privacy. The last beach I will mention is Black Sand Beach. It is unique both because it lets you experience black sand and also due to its scenic cliffside location. The black sand is only in some spots of the beach, and the swimming there isn't great due to the steeply descending bottom, but it is worth seeing if you like beaches next to cliffs. You also can't park right by the beach and have to walk a somewhat muddy quarter-mile path to get to it from the road. When it comes to dining out, Vieques offers more choice than you will have time to explore. From quick bites and sweet treats to fine dining, there's something there for everyone. We tried a bunch of these, some being a hit, others being more of a miss. Mamma Mia offered good atmosphere with nice tasting burgers and average tasting pizza. Vieques Bistro had average tasting food with excruciatingly long wait times. Our favorite place in town was Buga's Mexican restaurant. It had outdoor seating with nice music playing, the food was delicious, and the frozen cocktails were awesome as well. And our hands down best overall restaurant experience was the Bananas restaurant in Esperanza. This place has a nice atmosphere, is right by the water, and has great food options. We ended up eating there 3 times, and each of the food items we tried was very tasty. If you prefer to cook some or all of your meals, you won't have trouble buying groceries. There are a number of grocery stores, and they stock most things that you'd expect to find at fairly reasonable prices. If you are interested in more than just sitting on a beach, there are a few notable things you can do. First, you could spend a bunch of time in town exploring the streets, shops, and the town square. Or, you can drive out of town to visit the oldest tree in Vieques. This tree is around 300 years old and is absolutely massive. And once there, you can pop over to the Mosquito Pier. You can drive most of the way out of the island on the causeway, and then walk the last little bit on the pier. From there, you will have fantastic views of both Vieques as well as the southern part of Puerto Rico, including the iconic El Yunque rainforest with its mountains and cloud cover above. And on days when the water is calm with no waves coming from the north, the pier also offers great snorkeling. Unfortunately, during our visit, the sea was rough, so despite of snorkeling all the way to the deep end of the pier, the water was murky everywhere. Also, you will find multiple things in Vieques that have the name Mosquito in it. This isn't because there are lots of mosquitoes there, but as the legend goes, because Roberto Cofresi, the last successful pirate of the Caribbean, named his smallest ship the Mosquito. If you are into exploring ruins, the Sugar Mill ruins may be a fun activity for you. The ruins are easy to find with Google Maps, and you can explore the whole complex on foot by following the narrow paths in the forest. The whole complex is surprisingly large, so you can easily spend 30 to 45 minutes exploring the site. Now, on the day when we visited, we were pretty much alone there the whole time. Vieques is also home to the world's brightest bioluminescent bay. You can book a boat or a kayak night tour of the bay to experience this unique phenomenon. Be sure to consider the moon phases though, and book this on days when there's no moon up in the night sky. If instead you are looking for an underwater adventure, you can go diving in Vieques as well. We used Isla Nena Scuba to dive with, and they were great. Depending on the water conditions, they will provide a meeting location where the dive will take place. They offer both shore dives and boat dives, and they will bring all the equipment on site. During our dives, we didn't see excessive amounts of marine life, but we did have some nice coral formations to look at. Oh, and for those of you who are new to diving, they also offer scuba certification lessons if you want to get licensed. One other unique and amazing thing about Vieques is that you will see an impressively large number of wild horses on the island. They seem to be everywhere and seem to be used to people and cars. One word of caution though is that when driving at night, you need to be extra careful as there could be horses on the road. And now some general comments and observations. The prices for restaurants and groceries were mostly in line with USA prices and perhaps slightly higher than mainland Puerto Rico. We found Vieques very safe and people helpful and friendly. Just like the rest of Puerto Rico, they speak Spanish to each other, but most also speak English, so you won't have any trouble communicating. The water in Vieques, like the rest of Puerto Rico, should be safe to drink. However, after asking several locals, we received mixed advice. Some drink it, others don't. Use your best judgment. For electricity, standard North American plugs are used. And overall, Vieques is an amazing travel destination that you should not miss out on. And unlike some other small Caribbean islands, it is easy and inexpensive to get to once you are already in Puerto Rico. I'd recommend you stay for at least 3 nights. We were there for 5 nights and could easily see ourselves spending a few more days there. I know there may be some of you who are deciding between visiting Culebra and Vieques. So, to help you learn all you can about Culebra for a fair comparison, be sure to watch this video. And to ensure you have a smooth journey to the islands, be sure to also watch this Puerto Rico Ferries video.